Hey, Gemini, intuitive soul coach here with your October 2024 love reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Gemini, you have some big energies coming in right away. And as I say that, we have the devil showing up in reverse, which is good because we actually have the addiction card here as one of your key themes. Some of you are breaking out of an emotional block, perhaps even a karmic relationship. You have the karmic relationship card here as well. There may have been an emotional block that was delaying your happiness. King of Cups reverse in your foundation. Yeah, I feel like there is a situation that you were dealing with that had closed your heart off in some way, shape, or form. And I'm hearing the song. Well, I don't know if it's a song, but I'm hearing it in a melody. And the lyrics that are coming in is heart on the line. Hard on the line. So some of you are perhaps wanting to open up to love. And I feel like you are untethering or unbinding yourself from something that was holding you back. I mean, the addiction card here with the devil showing up right away, this can be codependency, obsessions, restraints, possession, control, and emotional blockages. And in order for you to put your heart on the line, it is going to require you to unchain from a situation. Yeah, look at that. We have the Five of Swords in the past. We have the Lovers coming in, and we have a judgment call being made in the near future. I'm also getting a message around, are you truly happy where you are, or is it a cover-up to some sort of emotional pain that you've endured, perhaps in a karmic relationship? Some of you may currently be in a repeat cycle, and this repeat cycle is a karmic cycle that is here to help you let go. Help you let go of a situation, let go of the turmoil, let go of, something that had been or has been quite intense. Bottom of the deck, we also have the Mask, we have backstabbing, and we have, picture. There's something of the past that's coming in for you this Libran season, and I feel like you're going to take a new path. There's a new approach here being made. This is going to be an interesting read, Gemini. Let's finish getting all your cards out. How are you feeling? Queen of Cups, you're ready to heal that beautiful heart of yours. You're ready to open your heart up in some way. Two of Wands, there may be a choice. There may be a decision made in the month of October. That's what I was feeling. There's a new path for you to take so you don't repeat some sort of cycle. The Fear, hopes and fears, Queen of Wands. And what's the outcome here for Gemini in matters of the heart? Now, this could be romantic love. It could be a family situation that you're dealing with. It could be, a best friend. We do have the outcome showing up. Now, bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a gift. All aces are gifts. And I do see that there's a new beginning here brewing in for you. This is about conception. It's the seed. Some of you are attracting love into your life. This could be very passionate. There could be a lot of passion and desire that you feel towards someone. I also see some of you are dreaming about you could be having very lusty or passionate dreams, because this can be subconscious energies. Okay. And it may even be something where you wake up and you're like, why did I just dream of, that person that I haven't seen in 5 years? Or why did I dream about my, ex when I'm in a relationship? I just feel like there's something deeper below the surface that's going on, but it's actually leading you towards a really beautiful beginning, a very successful outcome potentially. Now let's dive in. Your first card out, you did have addictions, karmic relationships, but you have paradise city here, and you had to work through a lot. I see that there has been some sort of codependency, some sort of chain, but the fact that this is showing up with the devil in reverse says you are liberating yourself from something or someone that kept you in some sort of a karmic hold. Gemini, there may have been resentments, a lot of triggers. This is about a bond that was darn near impossible to sever. Some of you, you're still in the throes of something here. Otherwise, the devil wouldn't show up. But I feel like karmic relationships can be the most difficult or challenging to sever. Even if you physically removed yourself from this energy, 10 years ago, 1 year ago, I feel like you are going to let go of this in order to open yourself up to this energy of paradise. Okay. It requires you to get honest with yourself about where you're at currently. You could be in this karmic relationship. If you see a repeat, a pattern showing up from the past, and you've already learned the valuable lessons that you've needed to learn, maybe this is with a relative, a sibling, a child, a parent, a lover. I feel like you're going to let go of this dynamic, the intensity of it, because you don't want to be bonded. You don't want to be tethered because it's restricting you. It's almost feels like it's cutting off your life force in some way, shape, or form. Now, of course, some of you could be dealing with someone who has addictions, and that could be a big interference when it comes to someone's happiness. This is joy. This is playfulness, enjoying each other. This is the honeymoon phase. And I just see with these three cards together, it feels like there's, very, very high highs and very, very low lows. And if that's where you're currently at, it's because this underlying energy of something that you're meant to learn on this karmic wheel and this karmic cycle is playing out for you in a profound way. So just keep that in mind. I do see paradise showing up here, and it reminds me of the song Paradise City. Take me down to Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Now, some of you could be putting yourself out there in some way, shape, or form, but be mindful of addictive tendencies. Pay attention to the red flags, because we have at the bottom of the deck, we have the mask, we have backstabbing, and we have something of the past showing back up again. There's nostalgia. Some of you, if you've been doing really good, right? If you've been really good, if you haven't thought about maybe the devil for quite some time, this could be an addiction. It could be, obsessing about a situation. If you freed yourself from this a while ago, there could be a trigger that shows up for you in October, but I feel like you are well equipped to deal with it. Okay. It shows me that subconsciously there's a little bit of nostalgia going on. So maybe October is a significant month for you. Maybe Libran energy or Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with a Libra or a Scorpio, or some of you, I feel like there's been some highs and lows in the month of October that the body remembers, right? The body keeps score. And I do feel like there's just something that kind of triggers something within you this month. And it could be that you have been heartbroken in the past. This is the card of backstabbing. There's separation here. There's loss. There's deception and lies. It almost feels like there was a shock factor to this situation. Some of you, this could have been a death or an ending of a situation, and it really felt like you were isolated, you were left alone, you were left out in the cold. And I do feel like you are missing someone. Someone could be missing you. There could be a flashback. You may, again, like I said, have a dream about someone that may have crossed over, or you haven't thought about them for a while. This could be a loved one. And I feel like there's a little bit of nostalgia, but you're making new memories with the pictures. You're making new memories, and you are moving forward in honesty and in truth. Okay. If there has been deception or lies around a situation, I feel like the devil is saying we are releasing that by being honest. if you've been holding back your feelings, or if there's been some sort of delusion, gaslighting, if someone has been maybe personifying themselves to be someone that they're not, this is the month where you really release and let it go. Okay, I mean, you're releasing something quite profound. If you weren't, you wouldn't have the devil showing up right away here for you. We do have the key on a ring. You have options here, Gemini. You have options. I feel like you may have been strung along, or perhaps you felt like you were stringing. There's just this energy of keeping something on the line. It almost feels like when you go out fishing and you don't quite have the line in the water, and you just have the line maybe hanging out while you are getting to your next destination, right? I feel like there's something about being strung along in some way, and I feel like that cord is being severed or cut, which is good, because there's a love offer coming in. There's a new opportunity of love for you. Now, because we do have some nostalgia, this isn't going to resonate for everyone, so please take it as it does. I do feel like there's an opportunity to resurrect or reconnect to a past energy here and really heal something that has been very big, very severe between you and another person. But it will require someone to fully let go of the past, okay? Because I do see the Judgment card, which can be a second chance as well. We have nostalgia here. So for those of you that may want to reconcile, that could be an option. But for the majority of you, I feel like there's love in the air. You have your heart on the line here. There's a little bit of hesitancy, right? Hesitancy with the heart being on the line. But I see that you don't want to do that karmic cycle all over again, even if it's with a new person. Okay, so if you notice yourself repeating a pattern, you may be called to look at it more in depthly. Now, you start off with the devil. It's in reverse, which is good, because it means that you're liberating yourself from either addictions, toxicity. This can be obsessing about a situation, feeling bonded to it spiritually, energetically. Even if this energy isn't physically in your life, it just feels like you are tethered, you are bonded to someone or something, because the relationship or the cord from which this was created was so strong. It almost feels like an umbilical cord. And as I'm looking at the devil, even though these are roses, there's also thorns. There may have been a person or a situation that you're currently in where someone really helped you get through some hard times. And even though there's been a lot of the lows, it almost feels like there were a lot of highs as well, highs and lows. And maybe there was something quite intoxicating, quite addicting to this energy. And that may be why this was, a karmic situation that is so hard to sever, because regardless of how, toxic or, addicting it was like this person may have been there through your lowest of low moments. And it almost feels a little bit like, I forget what that syndrome is, where you fall in love with your captor, or you start to grow a strong bond for someone that's hurt you. I forget what that's called, but I feel like there's some unhealthy pattern or dynamic attached to a relationship. And this is the time that you sever it. You cut that umbilical cord in some way, shape, or form. You can have gratitude for someone helping you out, or having gratitude for what you've gone through, but I feel like it's being severed. And if this is a reconciliation of some sort, it's going to require a new lifeline, a new umbilical cord, so to speak. And we have that silver cord connecting all of us in relationships. And I feel like you've been cut so many times with the devil card. You've been betrayed so much, where you may have closed your heart, Gemini. You may have closed down in some way, shape, or form. But what's crossing your path is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is about, when it's in reverse, it's not fun. It's inconsistency. It's very in and out. It is, you know, someone's always looking for their next grand adventure, their next high, right? Maybe even their next quote unquote victim. I know that sounds morbid, but I feel like you've dealt with some people who were very impulsive. And I also see communication being cut off here. You may have cut off communication with someone. This can be about truth and honesty as well with the Knight of Swords. Use your words wisely is what I'm getting. Use your words wisely. If there is communication that needs to be had, try to speak with truth, compassion, and kindness, especially if you're delivering some unfavorable news that could hurt someone else. And it's not like you want to hurt them intentionally. I just feel like there's some sort of action being taken here. And I feel like it's going to help sever some sort of cord with this Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is about voicing yourself, expressing yourself. I also am getting gaining closure. Some of you, the opportunity could be to speak up, talk to someone. Maybe this is a therapist, a coach, a mentor. This is about being able to express yourself instead of holding it in, holding it back, because that can create dis-ease. And if there is something you are trying to break out of, or if someone is suffering from addiction and it's been very difficult, very challenging, as you don't even know maybe who this individual is, I feel like someone's wearing a false mask that you're dealing with because of this addiction. And now when we think of addiction, yes, it can be alcohol and drugs, but sometimes this can be, you know, shopping, it can be porn, it can be gaming, it can be social media, it can be anything that, you know, sucks our energy. It takes so much of our time that we fail to build emotional bonds in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like either you or someone that you are dealing with is maybe suffering from, you know, masking some sort of pain that they have. I feel like they're hiding their true feelings. And because the Paradise card is here, I feel like someone is putting on a facade. They may be saying everything looks good, everything's great, but underneath the surface, it's not. Okay, it's not. All right, let's keep going here. In the foundation, we do have the King of Cups in reverse. This is drama. It can be a drama king. It can be an individual who's not in touch with their emotions. They could be untrustworthy, very cold, very indulgent. This King of Cups in reverse can have an issue with substances, right? They can overindulge. They can overeat, right? They can go to extremes. When they're not balanced, they can basically take their emotions and numb them, suppress them, do things that feels very imbalanced because emotions take over. And that's kind of what I get here with this King of Cups. So you may have been dealing with this individual, or this could be a part of your own psyche. And I feel like you're really looking at it from, you know, a different angle or a new angle. And the reason I say that here is because there is going to be a judgment coming up in the near future. And I feel like this is, you know, the spiritual rebirth. You've been going through it. And I feel with this Scorpio energy, by the end of October, there's going to be, you know, truths coming out. There's going to be revelations. And I feel like you are going to put your heart on the line. It's going to require a sense of vulnerability, a sense of, you know, trusting in yourself. And that's something that this King of Cups fails to do at times, fails to trust themselves because they're not in touch with their emotions, because they numb them, suppress them, overindulge in them, just to do anything that they can to not feel pain. You know, that is something we all do, is we don't want to feel pain. We try to minimize it. We try to avoid it. We try to get as far away from pain as we possibly can. Each and every one of us do that at times, right? So understand and remember that you are a soul having a human experience. And I am getting with this King of Cups, there are some massive lessons around emotional boundaries and healing the wounded heart. softening the edges around the heart in order for you to fully show up in a place of deep emotional and spiritual connections. Some of you may be calling in a best friend, calling in a mentor, a coach, a teacher, a partner, a lover. Well, we see it showing up above you actually, but I feel like this is something that you have the opportunity to either replay an old story with the same person, or it could be a new person, but you're still going to replay an old story because we have karma showing up here. Or if you've learned a very valuable lesson about, your own self, trusting in yourself, taking a look at emotional balance, which I feel like you've done, then you have the opportunity here to bring a lot more happiness and joy to your life. As I always say, when you know better, you do better. But it requires you to put in the work. And I feel like you've been putting in the work, but there's still some work to do. There's still some work to do as you reach this judgment day. I feel like it's important to get honest with yourself. It's important not to mask or numb a situation and not to, throw it under the rug. So often we're taught, especially if you are, a boy, be a man. Don't cry. Don't show your feelings. Little boys are told that all the time. Also, as a child, we're told to go cry in your room. What does that tell us? That, for one, that we're all alone, that we shouldn't be vulnerable, that we shouldn't, cry or be open to asking for help. We have to go to our rooms to cry, that we shouldn't show our feelings. And I feel for a lot of you, there's been some sort of conditioning, potentially since childhood, where this King of Cups has been a big factor. King of Cups in reverse. You have a very beautiful, loving heart, Gemini. You are someone who would give the shirt off your back to another individual if it would lessen their pain, right? But I also feel like you yourself deserve happiness and joy. So if there is a repeated pattern that is playing out, you have the opportunity to choose a different destiny. You can choose to jump into a new timeline, right? We choose every day by making the choices that we make, because there are multiple timelines. We live in, parallel universe. We live in, a time where in a thought could change everything. An action can change everything here. But I see you've come from something of the past that was just, it was a lot. You may have had feelings of selfishness or someone you were dealing with. It almost feels like both of you see the unicorn here and the lion. Well, this unicorn, you can see the veins in the face. You can see the big old teeth coming out. You see the lion is ferocious. It takes two here. So there is an energy of two. And even the unicorn, which is like a gem, right, is like a dime a dozen. I feel like there was a past situation here where there's been conflict. This is rage, resentment. This can be arguing, battle of the egos. It's dominance. It's control. It is taking advantage. It is basically the wounded inner child crying out, but in the sense of anger and rage and attacking another because it's unhealed. Five of Swords is knowing when to fight for something and knowing when to walk away. And I do feel here that this Five of Swords, this is one of the most, to me anyway, one of the most difficult fives. Even though the Five of Pentacles is, health and loss, financial loss, it's difficult. This five is mental. And this can really get up in our heads. This can wreak havoc towards our mental stability, which can ultimately destroy our physical world. So this is the five that you really want to address when it comes to how you feel, how you think. If there is any repressed anger, or if you are angry at someone else, how can you transmit that energy, or transmute it into a healthier way? How can you take some sort of pain that you've endured and turn it into gain? What are ways that you can work on some of this suppressed anger or some of this suppressed hurt? And I see that you have love above you. You have the lovers. This is your energy, Gemini. And this is represented by Dorothy and the Scarecrow. This could be a very solid friendship coming in for you. It can be a soulmate. Some of you, you're falling in love. This is balance, right? You're no longer tethered to this bad union or stuck in some sort of situation that maybe there wasn't love or it was just drama, right? It was karmic. It was a karmic relationship or a karmic dynamic where you now have the potential to bring in a balanced love and reciprocity between you and another. This can also be strong sexual energy. And because I got that Ace of Wands, there's definitely some passion, some desires coming in here. And I feel like you want to open your heart up to love. Love is on the line here, right? Heart on the line is the message or the song that's coming through. And I feel like it's going to require you to think in a new way, to be in a new way, and to embrace a new energy within oneself. Now, in the near future, you have the Judgment. This is coming face to face as Alice is walking up to the Jabberwocky. This is coming face to face with, your fear, basically. Coming face to face with something that you were unable to let go of. Some of you, there was a lot of self-judgment, a lot of judging another person or judging a situation. And I feel like this is a second chance to open your heart up. This is a second chance. It's a spiritual rebirth. It's also Scorpio energy. Scorpio moves into, the sun moves into Scorpio October 23rd. So it could be mid to end of October that you have this massive spiritual rebirth where you have a sense of self-awareness of what's truly going on. And you're unmasking a situation, which means, yes, there's been trials and tribulations. Yes, you've gone through a rebirth, but you're not going back to this. 5 of Swords. You don't have to go back to that. It's not fun to be in that, right? It's manipulation, deceit. It's basically, again, a battle of the egos, victory through dominance or control. And I see that this energy is shifting for you where you don't ever have to go back to that. You're not going back. You're letting it go. It has to do with facing some sort of fear within yourself that maybe someone has been running from. Okay. And I get that there's a massive spiritual rebirth here taking place, and it's now, right? It's now. The Judgment Day has come. This is a passage. This is a rite of passage towards, heeding the call, going towards something more fulfilling, right? This is life's purpose, self-awareness, redemption. And I do feel like you have this opportunity to kind of, I don't want to say bow down, because sometimes when one thinks of bowing down, it can have both negative and positive connotations. Some of you may feel like that's a weakness, like I'm not going to bow down, but it almost feels like you're bowing down to yourself, right? Namaste. Your higher self meeting the higher self of another. And I feel like there's surrender here. And you're saying, okay, I get that this is something I've maybe ran from because it was too scary. It was big. I may have judged myself. But I feel like you're coming face to face here with something quite intense, and it may transform your life in a profound way. But it is going to require you, Gemini, to be honest with yourself, be honest with the path that you're on, to trust in your intuition, and to maybe surrender in a way. Surrender to old beliefs that may have caused a delay or a hang up in energy, and to fully let go and see something from a new perspective. Now, how are you feeling? Queen of Cups. Oh, wait a second here. We have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. So like I said, some of you, this does have to do with someone of the past or someone that is in your foundation currently already. Some of you could be married. With the Lovers, there could be a judgment call being made between you and an individual that you're with. Do we want to continue this path together, or is it time to part ways? Yeah. Either way, it's going to be an opportunity that you will at one point look back on, and it will be a success. I do see that here for you with your outcome. Now, I do get there's some sort of complementary energy coming in for you with this King of Cups, Queen of Cups. There's a lot of love here, a lot of love. When these two people get together, there can be just magic, fireworks. But if there's someone who is in the reverse, right, they may have a hard time due to this third party energy, which could be this good old addiction, right? Whatever it is, third party, this comes in between relationships. It comes in between relationships because it's someone wearing a mask and they're not truly able to be authentic. And that's why this judgment is coming up. Someone's released this with the devil. Someone's really worked on releasing this block that has created I'm getting like severing of emotional intimacy. So some of you, that maybe you were sleeping in different bedrooms, or perhaps there wasn't a lot of intimacy here, or maybe too much. Some of you may have been dealing with someone who used sexual intimacy as a scapegoat in some way, shape, or form. It's like using your magic in the wrong type of way. Okay, it almost feels like there's been an overabundance of it. Like that's when this person felt connected. And I just feel like there's some sort of unhealthy pattern that is being rebalanced. And what a perfect time during Libran season, which is all about justice, karma, and balance. So Queen of Cups, King of Cups showing up here. There is a divine counterpart, and there's a whole lot of love in this energy. There's a whole lot of love here. And it could be love that you had for someone that turned to rage, turned to anger due to this addiction, due to this third party. It may be something that, you know, had blocked someone emotionally from truly being intimate, from truly allowing a relationship to grow, to flourish. Now, what's coming in the environment? Gemini, you have a choice to make. Two of Wands. Do I continue moving forward on the path that I'm on? This is a decision point. You've been praying. You've been asking the universe. You've been, you've been trusting or trying to trust in that inner compass. But I also see here that there's been stagnation or complacency. You may have doubted your own self, but this new path that's showing up in your environment is going to require you to, again, put your heart on the line. It's going to require you to step outside of your comfort zone. And that's scary. That's vulnerable because there's been such destruction here in the past. Maybe due to, again, someone wearing a mask, someone hiding something. Because this was a karmic lesson that maybe the both of you were meant to go through. But I see you stepping outside your comfort zone. And I see you being very confident in doing so. At least that's the hope. I am getting like a fake it till you make it type of energy here with this Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands showing up in the hopes is, creative energy, very magnetic. She's a leader. She's very, witty and funny and attractive and bold. And you're hoping that you can embrace all of your strengths and that you can nurture and call in a type of love, if you're not in it already, that mirrors those strengths. Now, the fears are the Queen of Wands in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse is vengeful. She is bossy. She's controlling. She's jealous. She's catty. She's insecure. She feels like she's better than others at times due to, her own pain. She can be very, very dramatic. She may suffer from needing attention or validation from others. She may use her looks to get what she wants. Right? I feel like this is a fear that you may have because you may have been dealing with this energy of the past, or you had your own insecurities that got the best of you in some way. This can be very high ego. but I feel like the hope here is going to trump the fears. Okay, the hope is going to trump the fears because your outcome is the Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Now, at first, I feel like it wanted to show up a little bit on the side. I feel like it showed up, you know, or it is showing up as, I'm not sure if I'm going to be successful. I'm not sure what this Judgment Day is going to bring here. But I feel at the end of the day, or at the end of this soul lesson, it will be a triumph. And that may be why it's showing up as a little bit cockeyed here with the Six of Wands. But ultimately, this is victory. It is accomplishment. You've accomplished a lot. Some of you, there's been some sort of public defamation here. It's like something was put out in the spotlight and picked apart. Okay, it could be like airing your laundry, airing dirty laundry out there, or a lot of, you know, maybe people were gossiping, people were talking about you in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like there may have even been a sense of humiliation or, you know, failure, or you felt like you were overlooked in a situation. But I feel like there's big victory here. There is a big success, a big win. It's important to take this judgment with everything in you and move forward, because sometimes the judgment can be unable to let things go. And if that is a cycle that you struggle with, please connect to someone who can help you see what is difficult for you to see on your own. And maybe there is a sense of, you know, I don't need help, or you have a belief that says, I have to white knuckle it, do it myself. Help is not available. I can't afford it. No one wants to help me. Whatever belief that you have, I feel like it's important to approach it from a different viewpoint. Otherwise, you're going to end up maybe back in a cycle that you don't want to be in. And I want the best for you here, Gemini. And I do see victory showing up. And I feel like this judgment is going to be made. Now, some of you, you may be passing judgment on a situation and letting it go in some way, shape, or form, because I am getting like the cut off of the umbilical, okay? Or cutting off. Maybe this has to do with child. I mean, umbilical can be child, parent. Some of you may be cutting off maybe a child in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that sounds pretty, again, morbid, but maybe you've been enabling their addictive behaviors in some way. And I don't mean like cutting someone off out of your life altogether. I mean, maybe if this is a child, but it feels like if you've been financially supporting someone's habits that are unhealthy, perhaps it is time that you reassess and say, hey, wait a minute. Am I enabling? Am I really helping my child out? Maybe I need to cut off, you know, some sort of support in order to help them evolve or grow. If this is a family situation, I feel like this could be siblings. I almost get like a sibling type of energy with the Lovers. There's an opportunity here to make right or to make nice. Yeah, after some sort of battle of jealousy, battle of the egos, you may have had a sibling who was jealous of you, but they may have attacked you in a roundabout way. But I just see here that there's some choices and decisions that will be made, Gemini, in the month of October that really do put you on a new path, on a new timeline. Let's get a message here from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have for Gemini, please? A leg up. There's your help. There's your support. I told you, you're not alone. Some of you may be 34 years old. 34 could be a significant number. This is all about receiving help, delegating authority. It's about interdependence. Relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you just as you are there for them. This is a time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust. You will be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask and it is given. that kind of corresponds with what we're talking about here, Gemini. So ask. Now I'm going to read the protection message because we do have this Knight of Swords, which can be very impulsive, very blunt, very short with words. Be mindful of words. You could hurt people, or other people's words could hurt you. But I do feel like with this King of Cups, you may be working on or have worked on trying not to take that personally. But there's a difference between shoving something under the rug and letting it bounce off you. Try to discern and know the difference between those two. Okay, when we shove it under the rug, it means we don't deal with it. But when we have the emotional intelligence to say, wait a second, that's not my stuff. It is a projection. I feel like there's growth here. Are you always insisting on doing everything yourself? Do you have little faith that help will come? Convinced that the burden of the world is doomed to remain on your shoulders? Your beliefs about going it alone need to be discarded as they do not serve you at all. Let others help you. Yes, it will make you feel vulnerable to admit that you need a helping hand, but to be vulnerable is good, for you have a lesson to learn. You must let someone else assist. You can't do life all by yourself. Once you shift your expectations, you'll be amazed by how quickly help arrives to give you a leg up. Now, I'll tell you, Gemini, this is something that I suffered with for quite some time, is a very, very independent streak, as I had to grow up way before my time. I was an only child. I had to basically survive on my own, and it took a lot to be vulnerable with people. And at times I'm still working on this. And Brene Brown is such a powerful influencer when she talks about vulnerability as our greatest strength. So if you find yourself in this mentality of, I can't rely on anyone, I have to do it myself, it's my way or the highway, it can be detrimental when it comes to building emotional bonds and intimacy with others. And it can cause you to be emotionally blocked at times. So if this is something that you struggle with, work on, thawing out some of that anger or fear that may have caused one to be so fiercely independent in the first place. And that's why we see the ice caps behind the polar bear, because I feel like you are thawing out to that energy. With the Lovers coming in, the Lovers isn't just one energy. The Lovers is both Dorothy and the Scarecrow. This is two, right? This is two energies coming in together. So I do feel like you have support, you have help, you're calling in a best friend, you're calling in a lover. There's someone around you who wants to support you, give you a leg up. This could be a mentor, a teacher, someone who cares a great deal for you. But sometimes this person or this individual, by helping you, it may require them to be bluntly honest, right? They're not going to sugarcoat. They're not going to lie. There needs to be complete honesty around a situation here. All right, let's get a few messages from your crystal spirits. And at this time, if you're able to safely do so, Gemini, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale from your solar plexus chakra, the bottom of your belly. Nice big breath inhale. Hold it as long as you can and exhale. And with your eyes still closed, please tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you to imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now, your crystal could show up as a specific shape, size, or color. Perhaps hues of purple, blue, orange, or pink. Your crystal could be tumbled, polished, or even raw. Maybe you even know the name of the crystals or gemstones in your mind's eye, or perhaps you are feeling the energy emitting from it, that of unconditional love, protection, guidance, or support. There is no right or wrong answer, Gemini, and if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you're ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your crystal, whether it's the name, the shape, the size, the color, the feeling, whatever was coming up for you in your mind's eye. Drop it below. I personally will enter you into that free reading giveaway where I draw one winner around the first of the month and post it right back here on the channel. So I love your crystal showing up. You have Demorterite. And I was actually seeing blue sodalite in my mind's eye for you, but this is another beautiful hue of blue and purple. And this stone is about, organization. It can be about making a little bit of a pros and cons list or clearing the mental clutter, which would be a great idea with that Knight of Swords here. So getting into a space of logical balance, I would say, mental balance. Demorterite spirit has appeared to encourage you to bring about orderliness in your interactions with others and in your thinking about your relationships. Now is the perfect time to journal about your thoughts and feelings when it comes to the people you care about. If challenging emotions come up, be secure in knowing that divine guidance is there for you and that the universe wants you to be happy. Demorterite spirit calls you to write lists, to journal. Set plans for what you want and need in your relationships. You are entitled to receive love easily and naturally. And as you get honest with yourself through journaling and list making, you will start to see whether you need to adjust your relationships to make this easier. Love yourself enough to journal about your truth as you collect your thoughts and get organized when it comes to planning how you might improve or enhance your relationships. Beautiful energy. This is beneficial when it comes to opening that third eye, and it can help us clear out brain fog, and it can also facilitate in psychic awareness. Some of you may be born on the 21st, or you may be 38 years old. You also have Numite showing up here for you. Numite is about self-mastery, and it's recovering the sense of self. So this does talk about repetition, developing new skills. Just as you engage in a dance with a partner, leading and following, it says stay present in the moment, listening to signals and cues. Yes, toes can get stepped on, right? Now is a time where you and your partner deal with the inevitable missteps that allow you to develop a closeness that can stand up to the biggest challenges. And I do feel like, again, with the judgment, you're going to make a judgment call. Can we stand up to the missteps, or do we need to honor ourselves by, going in a new direction? And I feel here that a lot of you are cultivating love, or you can cultivate more love with the lovers here by practice being loving. Yeah, practice being loving. And when you have Numite here, this is the vibration of the wise elder or teacher. So we talk about, some sort of mentor coming in. Numite can really help you assist with getting to the depths of a situation. This can be very useful in inner child work. It doesn't say that in the book, but I'm getting that from Spirit here. It encourages us to embrace and integrate the neglected pieces of who we are. It helps us step into our power and once again know ourselves as the perfect beings that we are, right? And I feel like this is also very protecting. So you have this protection energy as you take a deep dive into some of the hidden. And this makes sense because a big chunk of October will be an eclipse season. So there's a lot being eclipsed in your life. Last but not least, message from your guides, angels, team. You are what you believe. Words hold power and divine magic. Hello, Knight of Swords, right? And you are the Knight of Swords. You are someone who uses your words in such a profound way. What you think, you become. Your outside world is a reflection of your inner thoughts. Be mindful of your thoughts and the words you speak. So there's extra confirmation from the guides of what we talked about in your reading when it comes to speaking up, expressing, voicing your thoughts, your ideas, your concerns. And I also see you choosing a path here. She's on the path, but there's enlightenment coming in. There's 3 triangles that are shooting right into her crown chakra. And so you're making decisions here that are definitely coming from above. I feel like you're opening yourself up to spiritual insight, guidance. You're listening to your true north here, and you're going to make a decision that will be in your highest good. I see that with the 6 of Wands. When it comes to love, you're trusting in yourself. That is what I have for you, Gemini. Pretty deep, pretty intense, but I see without a doubt that this love shall prevail. And it is going to require you here to put that heart on the line here in some way, shape, or form. So thank you so much, Gemini, for tuning in. I hope this resonates. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And also drop your crystals in the comment section below to be entered into the giveaway. Thank you so much, Soul Tribe. Lots of love.